You know, I think she's getting ready. Okay, so our speaker, Cheryl Driskell, you all know as C. She has been our spiritual leader here now for 2 years. I would have said it had been even longer than that, actually, but no, it's 2 years, she says. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. And in addition, being our spiritual leader, she's also, of course, done so much more, given us our admin support, our creative vision, our everything. She's done so much for us.
The recording has stopped.
Excuse me. Anyway.
Anne, can you record?
Pardon me? Okay. All right. But I do want to let you know that on June
This
16th,
meeting is being recorded.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I want to let you know before I let C speak that on June 16th of this year, after 5 years that she's been working very hard on this, she's going to become a fully graduated minister. And I just really, really want to congratulate you on that, C. That's great. And most wonderful part of it is that she is also fully committed to spending more years with us. And hey, what could be more relieving and more wonderful than that? I can't imagine losing you at the moment. See, anyway, what else was I going to say? Oh yes, I was going to mention that in addition to this, actually, this is what she calls her second career. Her second career, because she also has a very active career as a spiritual counselor, as a medical intuitive energy therapist. Some of you have experienced that with her, and as an online school owner. So we are so blessed to have you with us. See, and now I'll shut up and turn it over to you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. I'm just going to prepare the computer here so that we are recording the speaker. There we go. All right. So, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to my talk for the day, which is me, you, and Winnie the Pooh. So what is that all about? You know, when I first came up with the idea, I really didn't know where I was going to go, but Winnie guided me to understanding, and I'll explain that as we go along. I'm going to begin by sharing a little mini prayer by one of my teachers. Her name is Reverend Elisa Sabagal, and she wrote this little prayer, and this will explain a little bit about where we're headed today. And she says, "May we live in wonder, innocence, and sweetness. May we greet everyone we meet as a friend with a smile. May we generate a power far greater than the sum of individual members. And may we create global transformation in our movement, one friendship at a time. So let us surrender into the gift friendship brings." And so it is. Amen. There you go. What better friend than Winnie the Pooh to Christopher Robin? So interestingly enough, I came across another wonderful quote about friendship, and this comes from the Indigenous writer in Canada, Richard Wagamese, who many of us love so much. And he said, "It used to be that I knew the price of everything and the value of nothing. I was young then. Now older, I'm thankful that's changed. These days, I know that the price of friendship is honesty and vulnerability, and friendship's value is priceless. I know that the price of belonging is humility and grace, and belonging's value is irreplaceable. And I know that the price of love is equality and respect, and love's value is life altering." I just love his writing. And from this quote, we not only find the heart of a good man, we also find the heart of friendship. Much of us like the Winnie the Pooh stories, much like the Winnie the Pooh stories that focus on friendship. Because in Winnie, we also discover heart, and we discover that he understands the price of friendship, which is honesty and vulnerability. And ultimately, that friendship is priceless. And I have found for myself that Winnie the Pooh books growing up were priceless in themselves, because they taught me, as they teach so many people, that to belong in the world with ease, we have to have humility and grace, and that love does require us to express equality and respect for all. And this gives us life-altering experiences. And that is the adult messaging coming from a child's book. So today I'm going to explore me, you, and Winnie the Pooh, because I fell in love with these stories when I was really young. And I know they mean a lot to different people. They were adorable stories with unique characters having beautiful friendships that were always unfolding together through the ups and through the downs of life. They just seemed to have these timeless adventures and be able to manage it all with love and respect. They had positive messages and reminders of how to be in this world when things do get difficult. Winnie the Pooh stories have none of the everyday issues that we experience in life. They don't have the power and control issues. They don't have this fearfulness of being accepted. They don't have anything in them that promotes an unsafe world or an insecure world. To me, as a child, that was my freedom. That was my peace. Here we have a world that instead fostered equality, non-judgment, justice, happiness, and love and compassion. Gotta love that. That's a wonderful thing. And I have to say that I am now living my Winnie the Pooh world, which I will explain to you as we move forward. Even as I live in everyday life, I am aware that injustice exists, war exists, hunger exists in this world. I'm not going to spiritually bypass what's going on around me at any time. I don't sit gently with this knowledge, and so I act when I can, and I always try to educate myself, even if I might be living a little bit here and there in that Winnie the Pooh world, because I know that I have trained myself through my readings and through my experiences of life that I can face the hardships of life in the best ways possible. If I have some place to land, if I have a foundation, a rootedness in something that's beautiful and loving, at least I have a place to go when it gets tough in this life. Because I meet my needs by living in a friendly, supportive, and nurturing world, so that I can live the truth that I know to face the challenges with fortitude and gratefulness. And really, we're talking about Unity's first principle, living the truth we know. Sometimes we need help to make that happen. What do you use when you need to take positive action moving forward? What is your root? What is your foundation? So growing up, Winnie the Pooh was one of my favorite characters. Now, I also liked Pippi Longstockings because she was a crazy wild adventurer who swung from trees, which is, of course, something I tried once. And then there's Anne of Green Gables. What little Canadian girl didn't enjoy Anne of Green Gables? But Winnie had this uniqueness. He was this sweet little teddy bear to me. And he was a simple guy, you know, and he seemed to be blessed with all of these amazing friendships and adventures. Those were my escapes. They were my imagination. It just leapt forward in joy when I was reading those stories, and I read every day. It felt like that was my meditation. That was my going in to my indwelling source, because it brought me such peace, such happiness, that I seemed to almost automatically surrender to my divinity by reading such sweet, tender stories. They were loving and soft and gentle and meaningful. And this is what I had always believed God was at the center. I didn't know yet about the Old Testament and the fire and the brimstone and that. That didn't ever sit with me, even later. I always knew a gentle, indwelling, loving source. I've learned over the years, we don't need to push to make things happen. We can fall into our indwelling, loving source, God, gently and lovingly. And that is always been a great blessing and support for me. So this past summer, I had two of my grandnephews visiting. There's been a third one born since. And I had my 10-year-old nephew show up for 10 days and my 7-year-old nephew show up for 3 days separately, because sometimes it's just good to have them alone and spend that quality time together. And there was fishing and swimming and basketball and building funny pyramids so that we could, shoot balls at them and knock them over, as kids like to do. And then they were throwing the frisbee with the dogs. And then there was a lot of Disney. And we made room for chat though, too, right? But I was thinking to myself the whole time going, do these kids read? And so I sat with them and I thought, well, they're going to love Winnie the Pooh. I mean, I loved Winnie the Pooh. And yeah, no, that didn't go over very well. They would rather just focus on Disney. But I have to say, being the kind of aunt that I am, I did have a moment of saying, yeah, Disney can wait until we've read 2 paragraphs out loud together from Winnie the Pooh. And then you'll get your treats, and then you'll get your Disney, and everything will be back. And they kind of succumbed to that antsy belief system that a little reading is not a bad thing. And then, so this is August. So come October, we're having a luncheon in Unity in Ottawa to celebrate all of our volunteers and our members. And I remember again thinking of Winnie the Pooh. So what's that about? But truthfully, I'm thinking of all the beautiful people that showed up and the moments of celebration and joy. And as they were like gathering together to connect and establish these wonderful friendships. And I thought of Winnie the Pooh. I mean, what well-meaning, mature, ultra-wise woman wouldn't think of Winnie the Pooh in those moments? So Winnie the Pooh was written by A.A. Milne. Now, A.A. Milne didn't just pick up one day and decide to write about Winnie. He was already a writer. He was already a playwright. And he did write a story. And then the guy who illustrated the book said, you need to do more of these. And Winnie that was named this little Canadian influence. There was a Canadian black bear being sadly detained and held captive in a London zoo. And that's where Winnie was discovered. And but with him and with A.A. Milne and his son, Christopher Robin Milne. So Winnie the Pooh has become a kind of a timeless classic. So what do you think makes a timeless classic? What is it that's been carried through the decades to bring about a sense of wonder? What is your sense on that one? I can honestly say for me that Winnie and his group of people are unique characters that kind of can be seen in people. And they have organic friendships and they seem to work well together. So I wanted to see how people work well together. I didn't always have that going on around me. And so Winnie the Pooh just always seemed to get through the trying times into peaceful flow again and really embrace each other. And for me, that's timeless and that's necessary. And, I see this at Unity as well. I see an unapologetically inclusive world at Unity. And we know this is one of the heartfelt terms of acceptance that Unity uses, that we are unapologetically inclusive. And I see this in the Winnie the Pooh group too. So I just had my birthday and my aunt calls me every year at Christmas and my birthday. And occasionally we meet up in Toronto area. And I said to her, one of the things I really love about Unity is that It's a place for caring. At Unity, we seek the truth. And the truth we know is love. Love is at the core of everything. And eventually, love leads to actions of love, which can be holding a door from giving a hug to saying, I miss you or I love you. And every Unity, wherever you are in North America, if you go to a Unity, you show up and you'll see that the highest principle in every one of those communities is that we're going to care for you today. You show up, you're new, someone's going to smile at you. Someone's going to say, hey, where are you from? Someone's going to invite you to sit down, and they're going to invite you to fellowship later. And they're going to show love and appreciation for you, just being as you are in that moment. And how often do we get that treasure and pleasure in this world? Even at some of the churches that exist, you don't get that necessarily, especially if you're one of thousands. That's one of the treasures of being a small community, is that we really do get to know each other. Unity focuses on being a little, I would say like Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder, made it really clear that love was at the core of everything, and that she would even use love to connect to God, and falling into that love would heal her body, which she did. And it's this underlying thread that joins all of us at Unity. We are unique. We are loving. And on this path together to unveil our greatest potential, which comes from finding and seeking our divinity. We're drawn to this, and it is love. In the Winnie the Pooh books, I see them seeking friendship and love. And I always felt that growing up, which is why I read them over and over and over again. The Winnie the Pooh gang was looking to make everyday experiences flow with natural order, acceptance, peace, kindness. To me, that's unity. Even when someone is annoyed or hurt, we, as Winnie the Pooh did, go back and forth to try to help everybody fit in. We do this together. We're pretty special people at Unity. Sometimes I look at the people in my life, and especially in my home, and I'm also reminded of the characters that I've loved over the years. They seem to come to life before my eyes. Maybe there's something in that. You know the saying, thoughts in mind create after their kind. That's a Unity saying. Could any of us really be creating a world for ourselves that is the product of our childhood reading? Have you ever thought of that? I know I've created a safe and secure space for my life, as I call it, my Winnie the Pooh home, because of how much I have loved that group of pals. I think I pretty much created groups of friends a little like that. I know for sure that I don't live in a James Bond house, and I certainly don't live in a Stephen King household. They were not my favorite go-to books growing up. It makes you want to be more aware of the stories you tell yourself, and especially the kids, right? So at the very heart of Winnie the Pooh is the theme of friendship. We've got Pooh and Piglet, Tigger, Eeyore, Heffalump, Rabbit, Aru, Kanga, and the Owl, and Christopher Robin. And just to bring in Ecclesiastes for a minute, Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 and 10, we read, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow, or in my case, her gal pal. And sometimes it's just by our presence, just being still with somebody, we can truly lift them up. If we carry that sense of divinity within, it is so easy to be the one who holds space and uplifts people in the moment. Unity friendships are a source of strength and joy, reminding us we're not alone. Whatever our journey is, we're not alone. In my home, we carry a lot of the Winnie the Pooh character traits. I know it's weird, but my grandkids are going to love it. My spouse, Anne, who you know, is definitely got the owl going, but she's got a lot of the Eeyore. She actually walks around with an Eeyore onesie, a onesie, you know those things, right? When she's cold. She did this for her kids, I'm sure. She's a very devoted friend, a kind soul, and determined. However slow she goes at times to get those micro things managed, she's so analytical and she does it so meticulously. And you know, but she's so impeccable. And she's my Eeyore. And I'm grateful for that. She's got the wisdom of rabbit. And occasionally she's a heffalump. You know, heffalump would come and go so fast you didn't see them coming. It's like, where'd you go? But not Tigger. That's preserved for me. I'm a bouncy. I'm the Tigger. I'm an amalgam of Winnie, Tigger, rabbit, little owl occasionally. But I think fast like a rabbit and need things to go gentle and slow. Like if it all comes at me at once, I go, yeah, I need my honey. And then I move into the shifting zeal of Tigger when necessary to get things done. And there's been a lot of getting things done this year, I'll tell you. At Unity, we have our values and ways that guide us to work well together, just like I have my Winnie the Pooh home, and I have been guided by the Winnie the Pooh gang. I think that we have a unity gang. We have a unity that supports all of us through our challenges. And we're able to celebrate joy together, have wonderful moments together. And we live in a foundation also rooted in one power and one presence through everything, everywhere. We have our own unique styles of friendship because we don't hang out with each other all day, every day. But when we're together, we have this beautiful synergy. Have you ever felt that at Unity? There is a synergy. There's a complement of all the people who come together. It is a unifying community. We are drawn to each other. And that is really profound. I'd like to read you something from Ernest Holmes. He's a Unity author. No, sorry, that is Science of Mind teacher. Ernest Wilson was a Unity author. And he said that we must make friends also with life. The way to gain a friend is to be one, he said. And the way to make a friend of life is to treat life as a friend. Trust life as you would trust a friend. Go at least halfway in, trying to understand and appreciate your environment, your circumstances, your problems, your duties, just as you would go halfway or more with a friend. Now that's a wise idea. It's teaching us to live in awareness of life, to remember to bring in that friendship to life. How do you befriend life? So I thought about this. I said, let's just start with Winnie. How does Winnie befriend life? Well, Winnie the Pooh might complain a little bit about not having enough honey, but he doesn't go beyond that. He stops. And they don't deprecate people. They don't criticize their environment. They don't assume that life has given them a poor deal or a raw deal. And they never assume that good is withheld and that there's some adversity always coming at them. Trusting life as you would trust a friend. It seems to me that Winnie and his gang did befriend life. Feeling content and happy in life makes it a lot easier to become friends with anybody. These are the friends we're drawn to as well. When we are in the bigger world, we love meeting up with people who are content with life, who have already befriended life. And that's incredibly important. So for today, we live in a world like me, you, and Winnie the Pooh. What is the one ideal that you could share with someone else today in friendship? Find one ideal about what it means to befriend life and live in a Winnie the Pooh world, like a unity adult world where we care deeply for everybody. And then take this ideal out today, wherever you go, to help others as well. That's another wonderful blessing of unity, that we are guided to take things out into the world in action to help others. For me, if I were to go out today, and I don't think I will be, but it's kind of cold, but around here, we have a guest. Carrie's our guest, and Anne is here, and I'm going to make sure to keep small things small. That's how I befriend life. I look at things right away. I address them, keep them small to resolve them more easily. Don't make things big, and I don't let them linger. Much like something Winnie the Pooh would do as he searched for honey that would be lacking from his jar. In awareness of love and acceptance, humility, nurturing, and compassion, today we can approach life and befriend it in a Winnie the Pooh way and in an adult unity way. How are you going to approach your day? And I'd like to leave you with this wonderful quote from Winnie the Pooh. A day without a friend is like a pot without a drop of honey left inside. In blessing and love, thank you so much. So I now invite you to join me in a short meditation. Great big exhale. Just let it out and breathe in the next breath deeply down to the bottoms of your lungs, filling them completely with the magnificent oxygen that so supports us. Keep your feet on the earth if you can, and take long, slow, deep breaths. And may my words become your words as we proceed. Breathing in gently and slowly, I feel blessed to be a part of a unity gang, a community blessed in the richness of friendship and befriending life. In this moment, I recognize that I am already a friend to many, and a friend to myself. And I have an ideal about friendships, which I can tell to myself now. And I can share this with the world. And I trust that friendship is invaluable. It is priceless. And I'm going to use my model of friendships to befriend life. I'm going to look at life as though it matters, as though I can greet it halfway, that I can smile at it, that I can be grateful for it, just like I am my friends. I am choosing comfort and peace in each moment in life. Life is a splendid ideal filled with my choices, and I am befriending life today. And I will reach into my world this week to befriend life and share those many blessings with my community. Breathing in gently and slowly, I am at peace and in love with this beautiful world. I am fully alive and fully well. Take a moment to follow the breath coming in through your nose or mouth down to the bottoms of your lungs. And as you exhale, just follow that as well. Following it like a cool breeze coming in and a warm breeze going out. Slowly and gently. I am anchored in befriending the world around me, in living life with the ideal of a friend that needs me. Life needs me. And in this life, I am more and more abundant, more and more alive, more and more balanced, and in harmony with all that is. I am more and more at peace. And I am so grateful for the gift of this awareness. Taking a couple additional long, slow, deep breaths, recognizing your connection to the earth and to all that is around you in this life. Thank you, loving source, God, and Winnie too. And so it is.